Thank you for joining the Persistence Mastery Podcast, hosted by Leon Solutions, a training company that helps to realign teams and their communication skills to help the team you have in place conquer more throughout the workday. This will be hosted by me, Paul Leon, and thank you for listening to the Persistence Mastery Podcast. Thank you for listening to Persistence Mastery Podcast, Episode 1. Episode 1 is going to be on the 3 tips to enhance your communication skills. So let's get right into it. The 3 tips that I'm going to be covering today is number 1, eliminate self-fulfilling prophecies. Number 2, impact over intent. And number 3, disrupt your complacency. So let's jump right into it. What do I mean by eliminate self-fulfilling prophecies? Well, it's pretty simple, but it's not easy to do. My journey into this tip actually came through therapy. Now, that's something that a lot of people may or may not agree with, but I believe therapy is a useful vehicle to helping elevate your emotional intelligence in half the time. And what I've learned in my journey and going into therapy was that when I learned to eliminate self-fulfilling prophecies, somehow people in my life got better. Isn't that funny how that works? Which means that it was something more with me, not them. You know, one of the things that we struggle with, and you may be having a person in your life that's hard or somebody you're struggling in a relationship with. And one of the tips that will help you is anytime you see that message, that text, email, whatever, give it a moment. Give it a moment. Don't just go right into saying, oh, this person. That is not healthy for your mind, your emotional stability. I'm going to tell you why. That person has struggles just like you, just like me. And when that moment comes, when the humanity kicks in and there's a moment for you guys to improve your relationship, you're going to miss it if we keep putting self-fulfilling prophecies in place. Here's another thing we have to be aware of in the workplace. Sometimes miscommunications is just an organic part of the workplace. But on the other side of a miscommunication or a hard relationship we're trying to overcome is growth and improvement. Let me say that again. On the other side of a hard relationship or miscommunication is growth and improvement. I can tell you that from experience. Number 2, impact over intent. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you a simple home example. My wife is very smart. She has organizing systems left and right. She takes the time to plan and do everything proper. Now, me, I do this much better now, and it's not as organic as her. But I'm the type of person where I believe action speaks louder than words. When I was in college, when the professor would assign a paper that was due 90 days, 4 months out, I would say, I got to do something this night. I got to write a paragraph. I got to write a page. I got to put something in motion because motion solves emotion. Any insecurity I had around the project, goals, regardless, if I put something in motion, it will eliminate the emotion assigned to getting the workload done. But there's also a principle: work smarter, not harder. And what I have learned in my professional development and career is individuals who can plan, structure their goals and projects well ahead of time, they can focus their tasks and more align it more with the time. John C. Maxwell said, it's not the hours you put in, it's the time you put into the hours. Let me say that a different way, but it'll make much more sense. John C. Maxwell communicates in the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership that it's not the hours to put in, it's what you put into the hours. So when you are out there working, struggling, and you say, I put a lot of hours in, well, are you putting a lot of time or effort into the time? So going back to that situation, my pantry is filled with cereals in clear containers. I didn't even know cereal could have clear containers. I didn't know that was a thing. But I have the tendency, because I'm very comfortable with her, I will be sarcastic, which is not healthy. And there's time and a place to be humorous. And because I'm comfortable, I started poking fun at the cereal in these clear containers. And part of it is because I didn't grow up with organizing systems in my household. And she got a little offended. And she had stopped me and said, "It hurts me that you'd make fun of it because it's important to me." It's important to her and it's important to other people, your good intentions. And when you ask yourself, well, how come sometimes the impact of my communication doesn't line up with my intention? There's a lot of reasons for that. But for me personally, and I'll tell you what I'd work is I work to eliminate sarcasm. Sarcasm is a very toxic communication, especially in any professional setting, that can sometimes communicate down to people. And so that's one tip to improve your impact over your intention. So, what I had said to her in that time, I said, I understand how you feel. I didn't understand it, but I have felt the same way in other situations. And what I'm finding here is I will work better to respect and appreciate these organizing systems. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm a little jealous that she's so much better at it than me. But number 3, disrupt your complacency. Getting too comfortable can lead to procrastination. Again, getting too comfortable can lead to procrastination. So, what do I got to do to disrupt my complacency? Well, ask yourself, of the 168 hours a week, when you're not working or growing, are there times where you're taking advantage of leisure too much? The demand on my time has grown significantly as a professional, a parent, and what I had to find is one of my goals is to improve my health and fitness. I've been an athlete good amount of part of my life, but I always want to get better. And my recent doctor visit told me that, well, Paul, you're eating too much jasmine rice, which is hard as a Hispanic man to cut that out. I'm working on that. But what I decided was I need to get back and I need to give myself a different fitness structure. But the only time I could fit it in was between 5 a.m. and 6:45 in the morning. And I will tell you, the first day was probably the toughest. The second day was even harder. But 8 days later, without an alarm clock, I was up at 4:50 a.m. Disrupting your complacency can lead to new growth as long as you know your goals. So, again, as I give you these 3 tips, eliminate self fulfilling prophecies, impact over intent, disrupting your complacency, I'll bring, and I'm the type of trainer, speaker, presenter, where I believe stories sell messaging. So as you subscribe and what I ask of you, if you've already listened to this and said, there's some good tips in here, I need to share this. Could you share this with someone? Could you like and subscribe to this podcast? I would value you and I will value your subscriptions by producing more content. But outside of that call to action, as you listen to this, I'll leave you with this. Another trainer and speaker that I met through Toastmasters. And Toastmasters is a wonderful organization to help your presentation skills if you struggle with public speaking. He said the hardest form of public speaking, Paul, is stand-up comedy. And I said, okay, I'll just do that. I believe something that's hard on the other side is growth. And that's obviously within reason. And I go to this stand-up comedy class at a local improv, and I meet a gentleman. And he tells me straight up, he says, look, if you're really going to get good at this, the only way you get good is you pick up the mic. That's it. The more you pick up the mic, the better you get. And here's something else you got to know. Comedians are very negative and they don't want to help. So you're going to have to bring your A game and you're going to have to take a lot. Now, I know I don't have no problem working hard. That's fine with me. Didn't like his self-fulfilling prophecies, but that was his choice to believe that. He had been in the game longer than me. I go to my first mic, I meet him there, and he asks me, he said, "Why did you want to do this? Why do you want to even try this?" I said, "I heard it was hard. It was the hardest form of public speaking. And then if I can get good at this, I'll be a better corporate trainer and speaker." He says, "Rock on." I get up in front of this mic, couple 20, 30 people, lay out my jokes. And I'm the type of comic when I perform that hobby, because it's not a part of my life, because my goals have shifted. It's a hobby now, if it ever does make its way into my schedule. And I get in front of these people and I tell my jokes that are very clean. I'm the type of person where if my children were sitting there, could they listen to what I'm saying, or could another family listen to it? That's the type of that's what I think when I do comedy. And I get up and nobody laughs. I bomb, no laughter. And I'm absolutely enthusiastic. And he goes, "You have a big smile on your face. Why are you happy?" Nobody laughed. I said, "Because it's hard. And when I do it again, I can only get better from here." Les Brown said, "If you can look up, you can get up." Go next week, bomb again, bomb again. This happens for about 8 months or so. There's a comedy competition. About 20 comics pull your name out of a hat, and I'm number 20. I'm the last to go up, which after the judges see about 19 comedians, they're pretty much over it. And I get up, and I got the whole room laughing 8 months later. It didn't matter the other bombs. And I'm going to tell you why. I only cared about getting better, and my intention was to make people laugh. And I wanted to make that impact. And I tell you what, some of those comedians are some of my best friends and some of the most positive people to this day, because I didn't go into those rooms thinking the worst of people. I didn't pick up that mic without good intentions and wanting to make an impact and make people laugh. And I also disrupted my complacency and grew as a trainer and speaker. So, as we bring this first episode of the Persistence Mastery podcast to a close, your call to action is simply this: eliminate self fulfilling prophecies, recognize your impact over your intent, and what can you do to positively disrupt your complacency to grow as a professional? When you apply these 3 tips to enhance your communication skills, you'll be a stronger professional, parent, or teammate to whatever organization you're serving in your day to day. So, again, thank you again for joining me on the Persistence Mastery Podcast. I've been your host, Paul Leon. Did you like what you hear? Did you feel that it could help someone else? Well, please like and subscribe and share this podcast. And if you are someone who feels you'd like more information on how to realign your team's communication skills to strengthen the workplace, connect with me on LinkedIn on the Leon Solutions LinkedIn business website. I look forward to hearing more in the future and improving our relationship together through the Persistence Mastery podcast. Thank you. And again, thank you for listening to episode 1, the 3 keys via tips to enhance communication skills.